Today's episode of Chat and Chew is sponsored by Be Positive Productions and Multimedia Studios, LLC. I like to think of imagination as something akin to a superpower. Used in the right context for good, it can help bolster our aspirations and propel us closer to our goals. We visualize the outcome of our accomplishments and work toward attaining said thing. However, when used to propagate untruths, reality can become distorted. We no longer know what's real and what's not. The more often we repeat something to ourselves, the more likely it is to become our truth, and the lines between perception and reality begin to blur. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap. Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, hit the bell to activate notifications that will remind you when we're on. Please be sure to leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you.
Welcome, greetings once again to our weekly Chat and Chew broadcast. I'm very, very excited today. We have a very special guest with us, as always. But I'm really excited today about, we're going to be talking to a judge. But before we get into all that, I'm going to toss it over to James, and he's going to do a little bit of housekeeping for us.
All right. Welcome aboard, friends and family. It's a pleasure to see you and be with you. As usual, I'm going to tell you we need your help. We can definitely use your assistance. So, Facebook users, if you have Facebook, please like us and share this broadcast with your friends and your family members, and follow us. And then for our YouTube friends, we love you too. So all we want you to do is to subscribe to our channel. Click the little bell. Click the little bell and share the broadcast. And as usual, Instagram, we're not leaving you out. You just follow Fathers Forever. But there's a big but in here. We want our viewers to comment. So leave something in the chat for us, and we will be sure to get back to you. So with that said, Dr. Warren, I'm passing it back to you.
Okay, I'm taking it back. I know some of you are watching your broadcast while you're eating your supper, perhaps. So let's chat and chew while you do. Anyway, today I want to welcome our guest, Judge David Baker.
Thank you so much.
And we start out by tell us just who you are, your family life, and where you're from, and all that good stuff. Before we get into the meat of the matter.
Yeah, well, thank you for that opening. And I kind of think about going back to telling you how I was the son of a sharecropper.
Yeah, by all means.
I won't go that far back.
That's far.
I am a proud native of Raleigh. As the city has grown, that's actually not as common now.
Right.
But I grew up in the city of Raleigh, Southeast Raleigh to be exact.
Okay.
Prominent African-American neighborhoods, one Biltmore Hills.
Oh, yeah.
I always like to let people know, because believe it or not, even people who lived here oftentimes don't recognize when you drive through Biltmore Hills, the streets are all named after prominent African-Americans.
Wow. Yeah.
I can get on a little street called Waters Drive.
Mm-hmm.
Waters Drive intersected with Kitt Place.
Yes.
Right? Kitt Place, K-I-T-T.
Uh-huh.
And then it was Gilliam and so forth and so on, but a really historic neighborhood that I say gave me my foundation and just really understanding what it means to be a part of a community. So my father actually was worked in the Department of Corrections, made it pretty high up as the deputy secretary for the Department of Corrections. It's really interesting that I find myself in this position.
Yeah.
The court judge. Sure.
Wow.
But my mom was a school teacher, English teacher at that. And so today I aim to make her proud with good grammar and correct English. But just real quick, you all, I'm the father of 3 kids.
Okay.
Thank goodness, like they're all out of the house. in their early 20s.
Okay.
But I was fortunate to have a good partner, a good wife who we raised our kids together.
Right.
And so I understand that's not everybody's story.
Yes.
So I just want you to know I have that clear and distinct perspective.
Judge, you've been drinking from the fountain of water. The fountain of youth.
Yes.
Fountain of youth. Yes. Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, I surprise myself sometimes too.
That's amazing.
Turned 50 just last month.
No.
Wow. Yeah.
So, I can say I've had a good life, but a lot of that has fueled the work I've done since graduating from UNC in 1996. I came back here, had an opportunity to work for some really, really good nonprofits that were doing great work in the community.
Okay.
Back in the 90s, early 90s, I worked over in the Bragg Street area. Back then we had Brown Birch Apartments.
Yes.
Sawyer Road,
Yes.
all of that.
Yes.
I started out as a young community organizer. And I like to tell people this was before Barack Obama and community organizing became something people talked
Really? Yeah.
about. The organization called Passage Home.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, very well.
Yeah. So went from there and then organized on a state level through some organizations, a collaboration of organizations through the North Carolina Justice Center.
Wow.
And that actually is in part what prompted me to go to law school and go down that legal path. But the other piece of it, in all candor, was the fact that I had 3 kids.
Yeah.
And I kind of made my wife some promises, about the type of life we would live and being able to take care of, our obligations and doing what we need to do for those kids. And I really needed to figure out, I loved advocacy, loved working in the community. But I did need to figure out a way I could make a good living and take care of
3 kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I went back to law school with 3 kids. With 3 kids.
Family first.
Yeah. And again, with the help of my wife, we were able to make that work and I made a career.
How old were your kids when you went back to school?
The youngest child was 4 months.
Wow.
And they were all 2 years apart. So I had 4-month-old, there's 2-year-old, 2.5-year-old, and a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
My kids are still well, they're adults now. You met my son, he's 43. My other son is 39. My daughter is
Don't tell your age.
37.
She's gonna get you.
77. But it's amazing. So what made you decide that you wanted? At what point in time in your life did you have an interest in being a judge? Or it just kind of happened?
Yeah. So interesting. I did not. In fact, I said I was not going to law school because I refer back to my undergrad time, and a lot of people were going to law school. It really was I did it. I'm just going to make, I'm going to go make some money, right?
Yeah,
serve corporate, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? We need those folks too.
That's right.
But my mindset was on changing the world. And so I really kind of disclaimed that path. But what changed is the fact that I was working in community, and we're talking about change, and I saw other people able to go into the legislature and advocate on policy, and I felt like I was at a deficit. And so I wanted to add those skills, but it was being around really competent, community-oriented attorneys who were making a case for things like the earned income tax credit,
right,
living wage, other ways of expanding affordable housing. And that's what got me interested and opened my eyes to what the law could offer.
Right.
And so that was really the key. And like I said, I had 3 kids.
Yeah.
And I needed to figure out a way.
Right. Yeah. So you got how many boys and girls? How many?
So my oldest, my daughter's the oldest. They all have birthdays, so I got to get this right. She's 25 now. And then 2 boys, 23, and the youngest is still going to be 21.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Wow. We, as you know, we are fatherhood program, and you said you've heard about us from time to time, and we're in the court system a lot. When we started Father Forever, our mutual friend, Judge Christian Root, the former Judge Christian Root, kind of got us in the referring guys to us who are at risk of going to jail for non-child support. That's kind of how we got started in the court system. As a man, you and I probably know, and James as well, that most of the time we don't go out to get help, and somebody nudges us. We don't go to the doctor until stuff stop working. Then we're gonna go. Most times it's our wives that nudges us to do. So we have a lot of guys who have been in not being a good father, struggling fathers, for whatever reason. There's lots of reasons. And so in the child support court, Judge Ruth had decided that she was like, okay, you know what? I could put you in jail. I could put you in criminal contempt. I could put you in jail, but I'm going to stay conviction, the order, but I'm going to order you to this child support class, which is Father Forever. And if you go there and complete it, we won't send you to jail, but we'll work with you. And that's how we kind of got started as a jail diversion in the Wake County Child Support Court. And we did it for a number of years, until COVID started. When COVID started, of course, everything closed down. But that's kind of how we have connected at a fatherhood program with the court system. In 2017, we were approached to start not just a fatherhood program, but houses, the guys are getting out of prison. Transitional houses. So we got 5 transitional houses now.
Okay.
Of a total of 38 beds of guys who come into us straight from prison. And so now we're really into the re-entry and how to reduce recidivism, all that good stuff. One of the things that I've been working on for the last 6 months is a book. It's called Imagine a World Where Every Child Has a Father. And it's through initiated intervention. And that's where social workers and judges and all these people kind of say, you know what? I'm going to order you to a fatherhood program. And we have, of course, you're a judge. When people get a DUI, you order them to a substance class. When, you get into domestic violence and you beat your wife or whatever, you order to an anger management class. Those interventions kind of help guys to understand you can't beat your wife up, and you can't drive drunk. So those interventions, but we have, by and large, we have not really used that to reduce father absence. Yes. We haven't used intervention, and we haven't used prevention. We have used the cleanup, the aftermath. We spend all the money cleaning it up, but we're not doing anything to stop, to educate an intervention. And so what we're trying to do is connect it with judges and social workers all around the community and say, hey, you see this guy struggling. If you committed a crime, you got to do what you know what I'm saying? You got to do that. If you break into somebody's house, there's consequences that you're probably going to go to jail. And we're not telling you not to do that. Do that. But when you do that, also get this, maybe while this guy's in there, order him create some programs that he can go to. And I asked you this earlier, and that is what we call, what did you call it? Restorative justice?
Yeah, restorative justice. When you think about justice as a whole, most people really understand the retribution aspect.
Yes, right.
Like we need to hold your accountability.
Yes.
We need to hold you accountable.
Yes.
We structure punishment that's proportionate to the crime.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. But I think when you look at justice most comprehensively, we have to find these opportunities for restoration, for rehabilitation, and for growth. So with that said, first of all, let me commend you on all the years of work. I'm surprised this is the first time we got a chance to really sit down.
Yeah, we know a lot of people.
We know a lot of
they're
people
coming together.
But Fathers Forever has an excellent reputation, and so I just want to affirm that while I'm here in this space with you today.
Thank you.
But I would just tell you, and I think this is reflective of most of the judges in terms of how we think. Criminal justice system gives an opportunity for us to create opportunities for growth, development, rehabilitation, and I think it's a matter of making sure we always keep that right in front of us.
Right.
And so, as I leave here, I'm going to take that message out to my colleagues just as a reminder.
Right.
That Fathers Forever is a resource that's available.
Absolutely.
I did want to let you know this because I've got something you said made me think about. You said, what if? What was the question? What if there was
This book title?
Yeah. What's the title of the book?
Imagine a world where every child had a father, and then initiate intervention.
Yeah. So I just want to posit 2 things. One, so for 2 years I was a dedicated family court judge, presiding over custody cases. Child support come up as well as other issues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But right now I serve as a juvenile court judge. There's only two of us who do that on a full-time or regular basis. And when you ask that question, my thought was, and I know you may be asking rhetorically, but I really think that would change the volume of juvenile cases that I see. I think it would change the tenor and of the level of violence that we see in our community. And it's a question worth exploring in a way where we move to it to really figure out what would it take.
Yes. There was a judge. I was somewhere, and this judge was advocating. There was a guy that was coming. He was in trouble, and she didn't know where to send this guy. It was two ladies behind him that came up with him and said, "Your Honor, if you don't put this guy in jail, please give him to us. We would take care of him." The judge broke down almost and started crying on the bench. And she said, I wish there was 1,000 people out there that I could refer guys to instead of putting them in jail. But there's not a whole lot of advocacy out there for programs to help fathers do the things that they need to do to get back on track. I had to speak at a judge conference. Judge Bailey invited me to speak at a judge conference. That was a few years ago. And I tell this story about the elephant, and he loved it. And every time he got on the bench, and every time he would come to graduation, he would tell that story. So in Africa, there were some elephants, and it was in a village that was close to the jungle. And a lot of the tourists would come in to this village, then they'll go out into the jungle, and they'll kill the male elephants for the tusk. And so over a period of years and years in doing that, most of the male elephants was now killed. There wasn't a whole lot of male elephants left.
The adult.
The adult male elephants, all of them were pretty much slaughtered. The little baby elephants now, juvenile elephants, started coming to the village and ramshacking, and a little 400, 500, 600 pound elephant run into your car, your Mercedes, they're gonna put a dent in it. So people started complaining about these little elephants. Why are these little elephants coming into the village? They never did that before. So they hired this expert to go out. It didn't take him long to figure out what was going on. And one, he saw all the bodies of the dead elephants, and he realized that most of the dead elephants, father elephants, was gone. These little juveniles didn't have that male role model. So they went for another part of Africa, brought some male elephants in, and immediately the problem stopped.
Yeah.
And one of the things is that it's the male elephant. When he towered over those little elephants, they immediately, and I did some research to find out how was that true. And these little elephants had all these testosterone levels were so high sometimes, it'd be oozing out of their ears. It was so high. And the only way they could control it was the male elephant. Other than that, they'll be ramshacking, doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So if that worked for juveniles with elephants, what would it do for fathers, men? If a man is not present, these little juveniles that you deal with on a regular basis are running the streets.
Running amok, as they say.
Yeah. And I mean, because I think that's a phenomenal story about elephants, but it does translate.
Yes,
it translates, and we see it. I love to have the empirical research and run down the statistics, but you don't need it.
Don't need that because
we see it.
We see it, and you see all these gang members. When we got the guys that come into our program and they with the sagging pants and they're doing all this stuff, and that's like, you picked it up in prison, where you picked it up at. Most of the time, there's a man in the house. We don't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Women. I'm not here to bash women, but most of the time, and I tell the guys all the time, what a man does just with his kids is, we all different, men and women. Our kids need both. They need the both different of the man and the woman. And when the man is not there, we leave it up to the woman to do this all by herself, and she's not designed to do that. And she shouldn't have to do that. But we're absent. We're gone for lots of reasons. So how can we get these fathers to the table? And I think with judges and with social workers, and the whole premise of this book is to get us to start looking, to have a paradigm shift when it comes down to fathers.
Yeah.
Society, by and large, earlier we talked about education, but fathers really not really encouraged to come to the IEP meetings. And so far, I know we do all this stuff, but we have to be present, and society needs now to start shifting that perspective to get fathers to the table.
Yeah, and I'm optimistic that we're making that shift. It can't happen. I mean, it can't happen fast.
Exactly.
And I will just say, for women who are in a position of having to raise children,
Right.
Out of necessity,
Yes.
I commend any,
Yes.
because it's hard enough, like I said, in my experience, coming out of like raising kids in a 2-parent home.
Right.
Yeah.
So, obviously we're not saying anything to take anything.
Wait, yes.
Not at all.
Right. No.
That's correct.
But I think part of your work and what I see is that it says we value fathers.
Yes.
We value men being in the lives of their children.
Right.
And so I think we got to continue to amplify that message.
Yeah.
But then also make sure we put the resources in place so that fathers can participate. I mean, I think that's really removing the barriers to participation.
Yes.
And when I say participate, I mean being consistent, regular part of your child's life. We need to make sure those barriers, we're not implementing hurdles that make it difficult.
Right.
The man is always left out of the formula.
Yeah.
And Dr. Warner spoke about this a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say every day, but a lot.
Yeah.
And, there's help for the children, there's help for single mothers. But when it comes to the man, you can go to jail,
I can find a job, and you do that, but we don't give them the assistance that they need.
They need some qualities.
The education to go back to school and all that.
And I'm proud to say that we're working towards those goals.
Yeah.
Making sure our men can have something that will give them a living wage.
Right.
And more.
Right.
So it's been pretty fun.
Yeah. So the things that we a lot of times men, we don't always, like I say, we don't always ask for help. So my goal is everybody know where there's an ABC store in Wake County. I think there's 26, 27 of them. Everybody know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody go to the ABC store. I'm not knocking that. But suppose we have that many fatherhood programs in the county, just accessible as an ABC store is.
Mm-hmm.
What would that do to the men in the community? Number one, it'll tell the men it's okay to go get help.
That's
Right.
Yep.
And number two, it tells society is, hey, we're here to help you, because they're at this positive place in the community that can help these fathers get jobs, can help these fathers qualify for whatever they're looking for, to help them, give them the skills to be fathers. And what are you telling the kids by doing that? Hey, my father needs the help. Fatherhood sometimes, their significance is not matched by the support. What I mean by that is, we all know how significant fathers are. The data, we can, like you said, we can run out all those datas, but the support that they get is not matching their importance.
Yeah. Yes. I could see that. And we were talking about eliminating barriers.
Yes.
And reducing barriers. I mean, just the cost of living these days.
Wow.
is a real barrier, right?
Yeah.
And so I think I heard you mention, skills or vocational skills.
Correct.
Tools to help men get a toehold in the economy.
Right.
Through getting employment.
Right.
Absolutely critical.
It is.
And I would just tell y'all, see, I'm not one of these guys. So when I was in private practice, I had men come to me and they would be willing to pay me to go fight their child support. And typically I would say, hey, first of all, you don't necessarily want to come into court with me because that's going to make it look like you. At least that was my thought. And it's going to look like you got some money.
Right.
And you don't.
Right.
So maybe you keep this in your pocket and be ready to,
Exactly.
to
Right.
play that purge.
Right.
You know what I'm talking
Yep. Exactly. Play that perk. Yeah.
But I've been one of these people who are kind of hard on men to say, listen, I know that child support feels like something people is a burden, you're being oppressed, but it's your obligation.
And that's
Figure out how to step up. Now, and I know that's not popular, right? But I'm the guy who says that. Right?
we said 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time we go in there, we talk about
That is part of
your responsibility as a man.
Yep.
Number one, nobody should have to make you do that.
Yeah.
It should be inherited as a man to be able to take care of your kids. So, and child support is much bigger than your payment. They need your payment, but child support is being there for your kids, period.
Yes.
Not just financially, but financially, definitely. We don't leave that out. You got to pay your responsibility as a father, as a man, to make sure your kids are taken care of, but it also means support in all other areas.
So when that light bulb goes off, we have a class, chapter 3 in our book, our textbook. When you give that $500 per month and you start thinking, yeah, I'm good. I've done everything I need to do, But as Dr. Warren just said, that's just the money side of things.
Right.
Your child needs to see you, touch you, feel you, reach out and you all have a conversation.
Right.
All of those things are part of support. Whereas most people, when they hear child support, it's a negative connotation.
Well, it sounds more like a extraction / business.
And it's a bill.
Right. Just another bill.
Yeah.
But I think that's I have not explained it that way oftentimes. More so, in community in these types of conversations. But I think that's it's not just a valid point. It's the truth.
It's the truth.
Yeah, the support it's not just about the money.
And then along with that chapter, we talk about the budget.
Yeah.
Do you think the mother of your child can live and survive alone off of $500?
Right.
In this economy. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you at all. But I only chuckle because I know what the protest. I know what the argument.
Yeah, and we hear that all the time.
We hear it too.
When I was married for 15 years, my ex-wife and I decided that we was going to split up, which is fine, and I became the custodian father. So I had 3 kids, 7, 9, and 11. I didn't know a thing about cooking because I grew up in the household with my mom and dad. Went to college, had 3 hearts in the cot. Got married, was now taken care of. Cooking was never part of my chores to do.
Yeah.
But now I got 3 kids, and I got to cook for 3 kids. And then, I won't get into all that. But the point I was trying to make was, as a single father now of 3 kids, I'm seeing what single moms would do. And people pat me on the back and say, you're doing a good job as a single father. And yes, thank God I did. But how many millions and millions and millions of single moms have been doing this over and over and over again because father, for whatever reason, has not been there. And so I had to learn how to cook and how to do this stuff. And then my child support money that I was getting for my mother, my kids, it came like clockwork. She paid her child support like clockwork. That money was a part of my budget.
Yeah.
And the illustration is what is your child mom is expecting that child support to come in, and you decided this month you want to go out and get you a pair of
Jordans,
$100 sneakers, or you want to get your latest 22 for your ride, or you want to get this paint job, or you want to do all this stuff, and you don't send her that $300 a month. And for you, it's just $300. For her, it's like working 40 hours a week, and you get paid for 32. There's a hole in your budget, and that's what we drive home to the people, to the guys, that the consistency of being there and paying your child support and making sure those things are taken care of.
And when we spell it out in this simple manner, now they start to see, okay, I can't say she's getting her nails done with my child support money, or getting her hair done. Your $300 is helping to keep the lights on, keep the rent paid, mortgage paid, and other necessities that go on in the household.
So you guys need a ring on the 5th floor at the Wake County Court. we just so you can have that conversation.
Absolutely.
Because so many people do come in and they feel beat up on.
Yes.
They're like another bill.
Yeah.
And they don't. It seems like an unfair obligation.
Yeah.
But the perspective that you bring is one that a lot of men don't have. They never have to think about what it looks like on the other side of that.
Right. And that's why, man, when they come to us, they like this. They like this.
Sorry for laughing.
They are, man. But 4 or 5 weeks into the program, they sitting up like this.
And then they're raising hands.
And then they talking. And then they engaging because the light bulb comes on. I call it an abracadabra moment. That's when the magic starts taking place. And I call it the power of shared experience. Because now you get all these guys sitting in there and you realize I'm not the only one that's going through this. And my question is to you as a judge, what is your day like? I mean, when you deal with juveniles that's breaking the law, breaking and entering, what are some of the common denominators that you think has allowed these juveniles to be, the behavior to be that way?
Yeah. So you asked me what does my day look like, and I just take a deep breath because, here lately, when I tell people I'm in juvenile court, maybe I was guilty of this, maybe I'm projecting on other folks, but I think sometimes people think about stealing bubble gum, the little stuff like that. But, on a daily basis, right now, a lot of car thefts, common robbery, possession of firearms, illegal possession of firearms, and unfortunately, murder. Yeah, we're seeing those are the types of cases that we see on a daily basis. That's right. Wow. I tell people I have a front row seat to what's going on with young people in the community. Yeah. Some of the common denominators are poor school attendance. Yeah. Poor performance in school, but also poor school attendance. Oftentimes you have a parent who, while doing their best, because of work schedule, they can't provide adequate supervision. And usually the age, we're talking about adolescents, so that 12, 13 starting range, all on up to 17. Yeah. Wow. But again, there is an absence of that family structure. And sometimes you'll find out, like, part of the narrative might be that, by 14, once the kid was out of control and mom couldn't do anything with it, and the systems involved, give dad a try, right? But there may or may not be relationship, right? We see all types of scenarios, but I will tell you the even extended family support is really important when it comes to working with young people.
We had the pleasure and opportunity to go over to the Wake County Hammond Road Detention Center and present our curriculum to students there, or we call them students, but and they're waiting for trial.
Yeah,
but we've had all kinds, from murder to robbery to all kinds. I mean, we've seen it all. And my question I would ask from time to time, why are you here? These guys are intelligent. They've never disrespected us the entire time that we've been there. And I look at them and I see, these guys are talented, but
potential,
but they are here.
So one thing that comes to mind, and it goes back to the elephant story, for men in particular, our frontal lobe doesn't fully develop until about 25.
Well, that's true.
Right. Yeah. And so sometimes you'll ask a person, what are you doing here?
Right.
What were you thinking? And usually you get a blank stare.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it may not seem like too much to ask for somebody to explain their actions, but I'm just, without that guidance, that frontal lobe, the lack of impulse control,
right.
The lack of maturity and thinking about consequences, that's the part that frontal lobe controls.
Yes.
And so without a father figure, without that guidance, oftentimes you see these errant decisions that put people where they're behind.
It hurt my heart when I asked that question to one young man, and I'm not going to go into any details, so I'm just letting you all know that. But the reason that he got involved in a murder was he was tagging along with his older brother and following his footsteps. These are young guys, though. So what does that brother know? I don't know. Wow. But you led your brother down this path that you are now probably going to be there for some time.
Yeah. And we see our young brothers falling down that lane a lot. And a lot of times it's because of the absence of the father. There's a relationship with them, or they're not there to do the things that they need to do. And a lot of times they don't even know themselves. Yeah. And little girl, I know we got to leave. I'm looking at the time. One of the stories I tell in one of the books say, girls get it, some little girls get it, some boys don't. So the story is, when little girls grow up, they're learning how to be a child, how to be a mother at an early age. They're watching their mom in the kitchen cooking. They're watching their mom serve the family. they got their little T-shirt, and they're pretending like they got a family. When they get old enough, the mama take them to the store, get the training bra or whatever she needs to go over to a little woman. The mama show her how to do her hair. And now when she gets grown and get a baby, get a boyfriend, mama shows her how to be a mama, be a girl, a girlfriend. And then when she gets the baby, mama not there to show her how to raise the baby,
Take care.
the little baby from a wet cry to a sick, what kind of cry this is. So the little girl's already been trained from the time she was 3 or 4 years old to be a woman, to be a mother. What the little Jimmy gets? I mean, he gets the stuff that he's supposed to get, guns and all as boys, but the father's not there to show him what it is to be a man, to show him what it is to do with his guns, when to use his guns, when to put them away. So now he got 2 guns by the time he's 18, one in the back of his pants and one in the front of his pants. His dad is not there to teach him how to do neither one. So by the time he's 18, he does a drive-by with the one in the back of his pants. But he also, when in the front of his pants now, he got 3 kids. Because daddy has not been there to show him how to control either one of his guns. So little girls, a lot of times, get what it takes to be a mom and a woman, whereas sometimes the little boys, they don't get that. And it's sometimes distributed to the absence of fathers.
Dr. Warren, I'm going to ask you a question. I know you already got the answer, but what is the best parent then?
The best parent is both parents. That's a simple answer.
It's a good answer.
Your child need, both men, both the father and the mother. And I know we got to go, and we could talk about this until Jesus come back. But I was at we did a workshop, and one of the guys that was in the class, he's like, I feel like I'm a replacement dad. And I said, okay, explain that. We was in this workshop, and this guy asked that one question, and we talked for another hour. Because we were talking about, and what he mean was his old wife, his divorced wife, got a new husband, and he felt like the new husband was placing him as a dad, so he felt like he was left out. And I said, you can look at it that way, or you can look at it this way, that now your son is going to have 2 moms and 2 dads, and they should get double what they were getting before. Instead of y'all fighting about who's the replacement and who's doing this and who's that, how can y'all get together and raise your kids? And these are something that adults, because there's a whole lot of you probably know, I know you know this, there's a whole lot of blended families out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so how do you come together as a blended family to raise these kids? They should be getting double what they was getting before, because now they got 2 moms and 2 dads.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I know we're going to have to end on that note, but we got to get you back. There's so many things I want to talk to you about when I'll come down from the justice thing. And we really, I want us to create some other discussions about how do we get the justice system on a regular basis, the caseworkers to start recognizing that we need to do intervention, and how people with your authority and your insight and your influence can help shape policies and funding, for that matter, that can get the father the stuff that they need to be the dad that they were designed to be.
Maybe the judge wants to say something to us.
Yes, I know. I'm looking at my team, and they tell me to wrap it up.
If you could look into that, Tim, and talk to our view.
Well, first of all, let me just say it was a pleasure having this conversation today, and hope you got to have me back.
We are. We
I'm not going to make you put a date down on camera, but
you're on speed dial. I got another judge on speed dial.
Yeah, and the good thing is, we're having a conversation, but I know, and you all know because you're doing the work, there's much more than just talk.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of work to be done.
A lot of work.
And everybody, I think, has their place. For I think the men who are listening, for those who are fathers, I think about, I have a very vivid image of me trying to walk in my dad's shoes, but I was little, my feet didn't fit, and I walked around clumsily. But that took a lot of pride in me.
Yes,
I remember that feeling.
Right.
I remember watching my boys, both of them. I left my shoes out and seeing them put their little baby feet in there and try to walk around in daddy's shoes. I know that there are men out there who may not have had a daddy, right?
Yeah.
And don't have the shoes.
Yes.
But I'm thankful for Fathers Forever, for being that place that we say, we're going to teach you how to walk in those big shoes
I love that.
of fatherhood.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to say thank you for doing the work. Please, please, please have him back.
We will, absolutely.
Fan is not the right word, but a supporter.
Yes.
And I think with my position in the court system, as well as in the community, there's a lot of good work that we can do together. So I hope you have me back.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we definitely have you back because we want you to start referring fathers to the fathers in your program and say, hey, there's a program over here. I need for you to go to.
We got a great opportunity.
Yeah, opportunity to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Judge, it's a pleasure having you here today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, sir, so much.
Thank you.
We're going to have you back. Okay. All right. I just got caught up in the morning, y'all.
I know.
This is a powerful discussion. My mind just wasn't somewhere. But I really, really enjoyed the conversation. And to our audience, please like us on Facebook, as James said before, and tune into our weekly broadcast every Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Stop by our office, look us up, make donations, whatever things you need to do to help support us. I want to give a shout out to our judge for coming today to be a part of this broadcast. And until we meet again, take care. Here's 3 ways you can support our Dads at a Distance initiative. Give a copy to a family member, a friend.
Please.
Donate monthly, a book monthly, 5 books monthly, how many books you want to do monthly donation. Reverse book signing, your church, your business. You can make a donation go to our website at www.afatherforever.com and go to our PayPal at Fathers Forever. Our Cash App is $Fathers Forever. Make your donation today. Please include in the note section, include DAAD. Again, include in the note section DAAD.
If you or someone you know would like to be a part of the show, please visit our website at www.afatherforever.com or call us at 919-779-9905. The Chat and Chew podcast streams Thursdays at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. To schedule a reverse book signing or to find out more information about how you can become a part of the programs you heard us mention today, please be sure to stop by our website as well.
Hello, everyone. This is Glen Warren, founder and executive director of Fathers Forever. I want to share an alarming reality with you. 627,000 fathers are incarcerated that have kids under 18. Now, there are 56,000 moms incarcerated who have kids under 18. The reality is there are so many more fathers incarcerated than moms. This is why I Am a Father Forever book exists. Now, I need your help. I am inviting you to help us get this book into as many fathers incarcerated as possible. Here's how it works. For your donation of $22, we will provide a book to an incarcerated father. Thank you in advance for helping Fathers Forever heal fathers and save families.